Hello and welcome to a Hero Arts video with Lucy Abrams. Today I'm going to show you how I created this sparkly card using products from Hero Arts Starry Nights catalogue. I've taken this stencil, which is the Stars pattern stencil, and I've got some pool layering paper and some silver shadow ink. Now the first thing I've done is temporarily adhered the stencil to the cardstock. For this I just used some washi tape. It's brilliant, it just peels off afterwards, doesn't damage the paper, and it keeps things nice and secure in place. So once I've adhered the stencil to the paper, I'm taking my silver shadow ink and a small sponge applicator. You could probably just use a regular sponge for this, and then I'm just going to press the ink through the stencil onto the paper. It takes a bit of time adding it, making sure you don't miss any bits, and then just checking back over, making sure that I've got all of the stars and dots. Now next I'm going to add embossing paste. Now instead of removing the stencil, I'm just going to go ahead and put this straight on top. So I use a regular kitchen palette knife for this, nothing fancy, and then I'm just adding the embossing paste on top of the stars. Now with this is translucent embossing paste and you want to apply it fairly thin. So I'm just adding it all over, and then I'm done. Now this is the time to remove the stencil, so I just peel away my washi tape, throw it in the bin, and then it's time to lift up the stencil, and hopefully you should have a lovely silver background with a layer of clear translucent embossing paste. Now this is white to begin with, and then it dries clear. But I'm actually going to add a bit of glitter on top as well. Not very much, just a very thin sprinkling. This is a Tim Holtz Clear Rock Candy Distress Glitter. So I've added that on first, tipping it off. I'm actually working on a file divider here, which is quite useful for when you're using something like glitter. It's also wipe clean. And then I'm also going to add a tiny bit of Martha Stewart silver glitter too. Just a very fine, thin sprinkling. And you'll want to set that piece aside to dry for a while. And when you look at your stencil, you'll notice that probably it's got some staining. For this, I just used a magic eraser, household eraser, and just scrub it off, and it comes up beautifully. Next, I've stamped my little star, which is the You Are a Star, it's called, and I've stamped it onto some white paper with silver shadow ink. And again, you need to set that aside to dry. The silver ink does take a little bit of time to dry, but it is beautiful. Of course, you could use an embossing tool. While that was drying, I added some stitching to my pool panel. And now I'm going to add some Calico Shine Mr. Huey's. Instead of spraying, I'm just going to tap the nozzle. I've unscrewed it and I'm just going to tap it on so I get a bit more control. It also creates finer droplets rather than the all over mist, and hopefully you can see a little bit there, see some of those droplets. Next, once my star's dry, I'm going to die cut it. Again, I just adhere my die down so that it doesn't slip in the Cuttlebug. I've trimmed off the edges of my silver thread and adhered the bits to the back. I'm also trimming those bits off too. And then I'm just going to stick my pool piece to a pool note card that I've turned inside out. So I've got the colour on the inside as well. So I'll just stick that down. You can see how lovely and shiny it is. It's really sparkly. And the final thing I've done is create a lovely loop of silver thread. I've just wrapped this around my fingers several times, the thread, and then I'm just going to adhere it to the card just using some double-sided tape, but only just the two end pieces. I'm just going to adhere those into the middle. It's a bit fiddly. Just stick those end pieces into the middle there and leave the rest of the threads loose. Then I'm just putting a bit of foam adhesive on top to stick my star onto. If those threads are nice and loose, then you can just play with them and manipulate them into the kind of different patterns and shapes. So there you can see the threads all very circular, and then if you just move them about with your finger and pull them until you've got them in the kind of shape that you like. And that's it, the card's done. Here you can see a bit closer all that lovely glitter and sparkle. Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed the video. Goodbye.